Sadnam Aloha. So we are in an eclipse portal, and it's 999 today too. If you're following the numerology, right? September 9th, 2025, 999. It's all about completion. It's all about letting go. So we've got to look at this little cycle, right? I love looking at cycles. It's the beauty of astrology and human design is to look at our cycles. So if you go way, way back till August 22nd, the new moon was activating the 40th gate. September 7th that we just finished up. The lunar eclipse, the full moon, activated the 63rd gate up here in the head center. The 40 comes off the willpower center. And then September 21st, the new moon is in the 46th gate. It activates the 46th gate. So this will give us some information about the energy that we're sitting in right now and how we can harness it. And I have videos, right? You can look at my past videos if you need a refresher. And if you're new to human design, be sure to go into the information box and scroll down and you'll see get your free chart. And then you can follow along, subscribe to my channel, and you can follow along. And I report on the transits, but as I report on the transits, you're going to learn about your natal chart because you're going to be like, hey, I got that gate, but it's in a different position, right? So let's just do a refresher of where we've been and where we're going right now. So the new moon in the 40th, right? The gate of right here, the 40. And remember my the last video I did, I talked about this channel, the 4037. That's the channel of marriage, and this is what's breaking down, this channel of community. That's part of the cross of planning that started in 1615, and it's ending in 2027. So this 400-year cycle is coming to an end. And this is what my channel is all about. It's preparing you for 2027 and onward because we're going to be experiencing radical changes out in the world. So gate 40 is the gate of deliverance. It's the gate of work, the love of work or not the work. So this is the bargain. Tribal consciousness, the cross of planning is all based on bargain. You do this for me, I do this for you. So the bargain of work for rest, right? The bargain of being clothed, fed, protected from the elements. Basically keep this body alive for the individual. So this seated, August 22nd, new moon is seated the theme of, am I working from bargain? Tit for tat? Am I working at a job so I can get a paycheck? Am I in this relationship out of a bargain? I do this for you, you do this for me, you take care of me, you pay all the bills, that kind of thing. That's an old tribal bargain, and this is going through a huge mutation now, right? So am I working from bargain? Am I in this relationship out of bargain? Is this all about obligation and duty? Right? Or is this coming from my soul? So it's about your work, right? How do you feel like you have to earn your love, right? That's not coming from soul, that's coming from obligation and duty. And so this new moon really exposed this cross of planning frequency, right? The service in exchange for survival, right? Service in exchange for survival. And this was the tribal deal, right? So this is going through mutation. And then on September 7th, it activated the lunar eclipse, activated in Pisces, activated the 63. You can see this is coming off the crown chakra here. So this is doubt, right? It's the shadow of doubt. It's a suspicion. So this eclipse blast at the open collective of humanity. Can I trust this? Is there a future, right? What if I fail? What if I fail? This is going into the next chapter, right, of your life. So Mars in the 32, right? Mars in the 32, it's activating, right? It's amplifying this fear of failure. So I'm going to go more into this because Mars just went into the 32nd gate. And this is, my intuition was like, talk about this for this transmission. So this is the ancestral fear of survival, the 32, and money, right? This gate rules money. So let's look at the solar eclipse on September 21st is activating the 46th gate. And this is coming off the G center. This is your sense of self and direction, self-love. So this is the love of the body. It's about being in the right place at the right time. So this is a culmination, right? Because this is Virgo, right? This new moon, August 22nd, is in the sign of Virgo. And then we have another new moon, September 21st, in the sign of Virgo. So that's really rare. So this is a culmination of the cycle that says fortune comes through embodiment. Not strategy and focus, but embodiment, presence, and alignment to the life force in the present now moment, in the now. So this is a total reset for the Phoenix era continuity. The cross of the sleeping Phoenix starts in 2027 and it goes to 2438, this new 400-year cycle. So radical changes are happening, right? So my intention with this channel and my fractal, my soul allies that watch this channel, is to really help guide you, right, as a projector and then as a teacher, to align yourself spiritually, or spiritually first, and then into these new energies so that you can thrive. You can thrive. Okay. So no longer, right? So the total reset for this Phoenix era continuity, this whole cycle is teaching us that's no longer through bargains, no longer through tribal bargains, the 40, or doubt, 63, but through aliveness, 46. Okay, so we're in the corridor. We're in a corridor between eclipses where the old bargain is collapsing and crumbling, the cross of planning, all these institutions, these support systems, they're crumbling and collapsing. It's part of this new energy that's being birthed in 2027. So doubt is peaking, right? Doubt is peaking right now. And the fear of failure is loud. This is the fear of survival. Right? So this can be really, really loud. And plus, look, the sun's in the 47 this week too. That's the mental loops, right? These karmic loops. And so the karmic loop could be worrying, like having a lot of worry and anxiety. How am I going to survive? How am I going to make money? So we'll talk about this shift so that you can align with this new energy. But the doorway that we're heading towards, the 46th gate, right? The new moon, this is planting a new seed, which says there's a new way. There's a new way. And what it's saying is only what is alive in your body, here and now, in this present moment, will be supported. This bargain, I'll do this for you, you do that for me. I'll give you my energy and time in exchange for a paycheck. That's the bargain, right? It's not going to work anymore because it's not alive in your body. If you're not getting a zing from it, it's not going to work. You won't be supported, right? Because I'll talk about this, life supports life. And when you're embodied, you're in the right place at the right time. That's the sleeping Phoenix energy. Okay, so we're going to go deeper into this Mars in the 32nd gate here. And you can see this comes off the spleen, right? This is our splenic awareness system, the 32. So I talked about locks and keys before. For this, I wonder if I can just blow this up a little bit. Right? So there's locks and keys, they're called. And this is like a door, a doorway, this energy. And this is the global cycle, right? So there's the cross of planning that's ending in 2027. And then we're entering into this new cross of the sleeping phoenix. So you can see there's the 32. That's why it caught my attention. There's the 32, which is a key, right? Which is a key, but it correlates to the cross of planning, this last 400-year cycle. And there's the doorway that it opens, and that's the first gate. So the 32 opens the first gate, but not for very much longer. When 2027 comes in, it's going to be the 57 that will open the first gate. So let's just talk about this first lock, right? The first lock. So this is gate 1. I'll just zip back to the chart so you can see it. Maybe you have this natally. So this comes off the G center. You can see the 1 right there, the first hexagram, right? Number one. So this is the first lock. So the lock's not gonna, this isn't gonna change, right? Through all these cycles, it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. It's remained the same since 33 BC, before Christ. It's been there, that lock. And it's going to be there until 3674. Okay, so let's go back to this. So this lock, the first gate, right? It's like a doorway of the era. So the lock, it sets the condition that the key must fit into. So this first lock with gate number 1, this is all about creativity. It's yang energy. It's called the creative, and it's the impulse of life itself, this first gate. So in the cross of planning, so gate 1's creativity, right? And gate 32, remember this comes off the spleen, and Mars is activating gate 32 right now. This is the gate of continuity, and it's the fear of failure. So creativity in this era, from 1615 to 2027, was locked by the tribal need for continuity. So what does this mean, right? The tribal need for continuity. Well, your creative life force must prove that it can last. Your creative life force must continue on the tribe, right? So it's very functional, right? Your creativity had to serve a function, and it had to serve the tribe, So the tribe could endure, right? So the need for continuity. So you had to kind of prove your worth with your creativity, with the tribe. And this energy's still here, right? This consciousness is still here. So this is why art and music and spirituality and even relationships all became commodified. Will it pay? Will it give me money? Will my creativity give me money, the bargain? I needed the bargain. Will it survive? Will it feed the system? It was all about feeding the system. That's now collapsing. So your creativity was harnessed. This is all of humanity. Your creativity was harnessed and connected directly to security and money. So that's what this gate means, the 32. So this would be like, I'm an artist, but I have to commodify because I have to survive. So I need the bargain. So I compromise, I become an illustrator, right? I become a designer, become an advertiser, I become a marketer. I'll commercialize my art, my creativity, so that I can eat, so that I can pay rent, so that I can fit into the system. So the system decides, right? Is this worth something or not, right? Is your art worth something or not? And you had to fit into the system, right? Your creativity. So creativity got linked to marketing, commerce, and tribal needs, entertainment, right? It had to make money, right? It had to make money. And it's not that art disappeared. Art's always been with us, but it got funneled through institutions, industries, and markets that guaranteed survival, right? So this is changing now. This is changing now. Now we move into the cross of the sleeping phoenix in 2027 to 2438. And now the key shifts. This key for this 30-second gate key is not going to open the door anymore. It won't open the door anymore. Now the new key is the gate 57, right? And this is intuitive clarity in the now. So let me bring up the 57, and maybe you have this natally. So it's still on the spleen, right? There it is, the 57. So let's go back here. So it's intuitive clarity in the now, and this is the most intuitive gate in the body graph, right? Out of all the gates, it's the most intuitive. And this is in third eye intuition. This is our ancient intuition. This is your body's intuition. Your body's intuition. So creativity in this new era will be unlocked by intuition. By your intuition, not by continuity. How is this going to serve the tribe? But by your individual intuition. So your creative expression is valid if it feels alive right now. If it rings clarity in the now, right? Not that it promises continuity. Not that it promises, well, I can monetize this and right? This institution is going to take it and make a lot of money and profit from it. No, it's all about now, in the now moment, right? It's not about money. It's not about money. So this will unleash, right, a whole new flood of art. We'll have a renaissance in art, right, in 2027 and onward. So this is a flood of art, flood of relationships, how we relate to one another, our spirituality, and no longer will the question be, will this last? Will this last? Does this have legs? Instead, it's going to be in tune to is it true in the present now moment? Like right now, is it true? Right? So you may be creative, right? But if it feels alive and correct in the moment and resonating with your own intuition. So the artist, the Phoenix artist, the artists of the Phoenix age, won't bend their vision. They won't compromise their vision to fit into some kind of advertising campaign. They'll create because it breathes spirit in the now. It's all about overflow. You're giving from overflow. You're not giving from lack. Well, I need money to pay my rent and my food, and then I'm going to negotiate this bargain with the tribe. No, it's like overflow. It's an overflow of spirit. It's all about spirituality in 2027 and onward. It's all about spirit. That's a big word, is spirit. So you'll create, the artist in the Phoenix, the age of the Phoenix, will create because it breathes spirit into the now, present moment, in the field, into the field, even if it doesn't guarantee continuity or money. So the survival, the artist, right, won't come from bargains, but from resonance. Remember, I talk a lot about frequency. In the cross of the sleeping phoenix, it's all about frequency. And then there's a fractal recognition. These are your soul allies. Will recognize you. They'll recognize that life something in you has life, something that you've created has life, and that's what they'll resonate with. Not, oh, I could buy this and invest in your painting or whatever and then flip it, you know, in 10 or 15 years for more money. It's not about that. It's not about this bargain tribal exchange anymore, right? Okay, and let's go to the fourth slide here. So here's the big question, right? Well, how do I make money? I hear that so much, right? A lot of people, they think their sole purpose is a job, right? I'm going to make money from this. That's my sole purpose. It's no. You've got to we have to go through this paradigm shift. Okay, but let's talk about it. So under the cross of planning that we're coming out of from 1615, 2027, the gate 32 as the key, right? So remember the creativity gate 1 was only validated if it could be monetized. Wasn't valid otherwise. It was all about how much is it worth in terms of money. So the first reflex question becomes, how will I make money? How will this last? Right? Can I sell my paintings? Can I survive off being a painter and selling my painters? And if the answer was unclear, right? And you may have had this from your parents growing up, right? Children, I want to be a writer, I want to be a painter, I want to be a filmmaker. And the parents, what do they say? How are you going to make money from that? You need to be practical, realistic. Basically saying that, you know, you've got to fit into this system. You've got to create a bargain, right? There needs to be a bargain. So if the answer was unclear, the project was dismissed, right? Was dismissed. Here. So really that question was the voice of fear of failure disguised as practicality. Well, I'm just being practical. So the fear of failure, right, is the 32. The shadow is the fear of failure. And what this is really about, if you look at failure at its root, it's the fear of not surviving as a species. So this is really up in the collective unconscious right now of humanity, is this existential fear of extinction as a species, right? This is really up because it's ancestral. It's ancestral. So this is the root of it, is we won't survive it as a species. Okay? So this was the cross of planning energy. So now we're under the cross of the sleeping phoenix in 2027, the 2438. Gate 57 becomes the new key, which is clarity, intuition, and aliveness. It's aliveness in the now moment. So the new measure's not, will it make me money? It's not about that. The new measure is, does it feel alive? Does it feel clear? Is it resonant, right? Is there a resonance with this in terms of frequency? So money's no longer going to be the gatekeeper, right? And so those who still ask, how am I going to make money from that? They're in this old energy, right? They're still in this energy of the cross of planning. The other thing to remember too, that I just thought of, is from 1961, we've been, if you look at the lines, if we go back to the chart, you see, right, there's the sun, the 47.1, Venus is 7.5, it can be 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Well, there's also a theme, maybe I'll do a video on this in the future, is from 1961 to now, till 2027, we've been in a first line theme. And that means that we've been motivated to look for security, safety and security, because there's a fear, there's energy of fear in the first line. So looking for security. This is like insurance companies, things like that, social security, all these safety nets. That's all part of this cross of planning, first line. And now we're moving in 2027, moving into a 6 line theme, and that's all about spirit, right? That's all about soul. That's all about resonance, right? Frequency. So just keep that in mind. Like, things are going to start to really shift as we come closer into 2027. So you don't want to be going back into this old paradigm of how am I going to make money from that. We don't even know what money's going to look like, exchange of value for product and services. We don't even know what that's going to look like. That's being created for the sleeping phoenix. So this is an old world. How do I make money from that? That's an old world frequency that's dying. So in the phoenix, the era of the phoenix, it will be more like, if it's alive, the resources will come. If it's alive, the resources will come. And alive means authentic. You're authentically yourself. That means you're alive. If you're not authentic to yourself, if you're not being your authentic self, you're a not self, and you're not alive. You're not alive because you're not self. So resources will come. That's the new frequency here. If it's alive, resources will come because life supports life. If it's true, the fractal will recognize it and support it because they'll resonate with it. Continuity comes from resonance, comes from your frequency, your continuity, not from bargains. It won't come from bargains any longer. So this means that in the Phoenix area, you can't sell derivative junk just because it's profitable. Go listen to music. There's in my opinion, there's not very much original music anymore. It's all derivative. It's like, oh, that reminds me of that artist, or this song reminds me of this song, and they're sampling and resampling everything. That's the music industry making derivative music because they can profit from it. It's proven to create money, right? That's not going to happen anymore. People will feel whether it's alive, right? Whether it's alive or dead, authentic, or if it's just a formula, right? It's just a copy of something else. And money becomes a byproduct of aliveness, not the prerequisite for the beginning. That's the bargain. I'll do this and then you pay me this money. It's going to be a byproduct of that, whatever this looks like in the future. Okay. So in planning, right, when somebody says, how can you make money from that? In planning, that was a reasonable question, right? It was a practical question because continuity depended upon money for the system that we've been living in. And Phoenix, it becomes almost irrelevant. How can I make money from this, right? It's the wrong question. The right question is, does it light me up, right? You as the creator and then the other person that's coming towards to support you. Does this light me up? Is it alive? Is it true? Do I feel something from it? Because in the new cycle, aliveness is the currency. Aliveness is the currency. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to talk about too is that Mars is in the 32 and is squaring Jupiter all week long. So I'll talk about this. Okay. And squares are a tension. They create an inner tension inside you, an inner conflict that you have to come to terms with, right? And so it's creating a pressure. It's a pressure for you to change. And so the 53 is about starting. Oh, good. I have there's the chart there. So there's the 32. Mars is activating the 32 off the spleen. And then you see the root chakra is the 53, right? So Jupiter is activating the 53. So 53 is about starting a new cycle, starting something new. And then you've got this Mars here. So how this works out, remember the Mars in the 32 is fear of failure. It won't make any money from this. I won't be able to survive, right? The 32. I don't want to lose, right? I don't want to lose. Mars is like, I don't want to lose what I have. I need to hold on to what once worked, right? It's worked for, for a couple years now. Maybe it worked for my family of origin, my mother and father. Maybe it's worked with my friends. This is what they do, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to copy it, right? And if I let this go, this thing that's worked, that's going to stop working pretty soon, if it's connected to the old energy, right? If I let it go, I'll fail, right? I won't have enough money. I won't have stability. I won't have continuity. I won't be able to pay my rent. I won't be able to buy food and clothing. I won't have any money. That's the fear. If I let go, right? This is the 32, is about letting go of what's not working, right? Of what's not working, and then holding on to what does work. So this could be, just for examples to ground it, it could be like clinging to old projects because they feel safe, doubling it down on what you know, even if it's stagnating, if it has no life, it doesn't give you any zing. Well, I get the paycheck, right? I still get the money. That's this 32, it's clinging. You watch your bank accounts nervously, afraid to spend money. You want to hoard and cling on to. That's this, the 32, the fear of failure. Avoid risks. You won't take risks because risk means potential failure, right? So Jupiter in the 53 is development and new beginnings. So Jupiter is saying there's a fresh start for you. There's a fresh start for you, a fresh cycle that's available. And it's going to be new, and it's going to be aligned with this new energy. And it's going to mature over time, but you have to start it, right? And this is not, new doesn't mean I'm going to recycle, right? Recycle old patterns, right? That doesn't mean that, well, I'm just going to do what other people do. I'm going to run out there and open a spa because this is what other people did and they made a lot of money from that. That's not new. That's not new energy. New energy should bring up oh my God, some fear, right? Like you put some skin in the game, right? That because you need to be authentic. You need to be authentic. You're still hiding. If you're trying to hitch your wagon to something that's proven to be successful for other people, that is going away. It has to come from the soul. It has to come from inside you. It's got to come from you. This new idea has to come from you, and that means your authenticity. So it should scare you a little bit. That's when you know that you're on it, but it also excites you at the same time. Wow, I feel alive. If you're not feeling alive with what you're doing, you got to check your pulse because you're dying. You're either dying your life or you're living your life, right? So you should be feeling very alive right now. And that's when you know that you're aligned, not only with your soul, but of this sleeping phoenix energy, right? That's coming. So no stagnation, no choosing out of comfort. That's the 32. I'll just stay here because it's comfortable and I get the paycheck. And guess what? Life will not support that. It's not going to support you dying your life. It's not going to support you to be in a situation where you're stagnating. You're not growing. You're not evolving. Okay, so this is new. Jupiter is like something new that you've never done before, right? That maybe no one's ever done it like you before, right? So it's got to be new, 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 new. So this requires faith. Jupiter says there's a new seed, but you need to have faith, right? This is walking into the unknown, having faith in yourself, believing in yourself that you can do this. You're equipped to do this, to face the unknown. It pushes you towards a fresh vision, even if it feels a little naive, right? Even if you feel a little bit naive, like, oh, I don't think like I'm qualified for that. This is all healthy fears that come up. So it brings expansion. Jupiter will bring expansion to this new thing, but only if Mars stops clutching the past. So this is about letting go of the past, this 32. And it's letting go, like, the sun is in the 47 right now, and that's oppression. And it's very ancestral. So there can be the ancestral tape loop. You can't do that. How are you going to make money from it? Nobody's going to purchase that. You better go the safe route. And the safe route right now is the most dangerous route because it's not going to be supported anymore. Right? So at first, you may resist, right? You'll rationalize the old program that can still work, even if it's expired. This goes with your relationships too. This can still work, and you know that there's no life left. There's no life energy left there. It's expired. So in the fear mode here, you can get stuck in scarcity thinking. Well, if I let go, I'll have nothing. Yeah, right? So you may worship the false god. And what's the false god on this planet? Is money. Everything's inverted, right? Everybody believes, because most of the world are materialists, right? They only believe in the material world, right? And you have to know that the material world is such a small percentage of what reality really is. It goes beyond, it's very limiting view to have a materialist view of things. This is about expanding your worldview right now. It's very important, and that's what the spiritual path is about. Like, come into reality, and the reality is there's so much more to perceive, right? So if you're a materialist, you're going to worship, and materialists don't really believe in God. They talk a good talk about consciousness and quantum physics and things like that, but they don't really have faith and a power that's beyond their own, because their power is the ego. And the ego's power is money. So it's all about, that's the 47, the tape loop. I just need to get more money. I need more money. I need more money. I need more money. When you should be flipping it, I need more God. I need more divinity. I need to connect with my own inner master within, my own teacher within. That's what I need to get to, not to something outside of me that could disappear tomorrow. Money could disappear tomorrow, right? So, so Mars will make, if you're in the fear of failure, it will make you even more like clinging to the pentacles, right? Clinging to the money and trying to shore up your security. This is the not spending money, right? Hoarding the money. I'm afraid to invest in myself, or maybe, purchase things that help me with my spiritual development. No, I need this money just in case of a rainy day, right? If I need food or something like that. That's scarcity thinking, and you're out of the now. You're out of the energy of the sleeping phoenix, right? So the breakthrough moment for you, right, possibly with Mars squaring Jupiter, is it will create an inner crisis, and that's a good thing. An inner crisis within you, and Mars will finally wake up and say, if I keep clinging, I'm going to die slowly anyway. I'm going to die slowly anyway if I keep clinging, because I feel like my soul is dying inside. So finally, aligned action, because Mars is about your actions that you take in the world. It's about your desires. Finally, Mars, through your crises, like a little dark night of the soul, a mini dark of the night of the soul for you, aligns with Jupiter in the new seed. So this could look like dropping an old project, right? Dropping a job, a job that you've had, right, forever, that you just can't stand going in there. You just feel sucked dry, right? This is like, I'm just gonna like work here for 5 days a week, get my paycheck, and then I sleep all weekend or go get drunk or indulge in addictions, and I throw myself back to work. That's a slave. You don't want to work. You don't want to live like this anymore, right? So this could be like dropping the old job, dropping a project, dropping a partnership that's no longer has life, a relationship that no longer has life, a project that no longer has life, and taking one bold step into the new cycle. So this could be a launching. That's something that you've always wanted to do. Speaking your truth. You can start there with a baby step. I'm going to just start being authentic. Somebody asked me on YouTube and Instagram, like, how do I find my mission? What do I do? I don't have no idea. Well, you start by being authentically yourself. 100% authentically yourself. That means speaking the truth. That means being yourself without apology, not playing a role, not being a people pleaser, not to be someone that you're not. Right? And that right there, that aligns you with your soul, that aligns you with your frequency. And then that is what brings things to you. Like if you're a manifesting generator to respond to. If you're projectors and invitations, it starts with authenticity. Get your frequency correct, right? Otherwise, you're not self, and that's what the frequency you're sending out, and that brings you more not self, a not self relationship, a karmic relationship, karmic friends, karmic communities, karmic projects, right? That are not yours. They're not yours. You're doing someone else's purpose, basically. You're living someone else's life. You want to live your own life. So you want to invest energy in what's fresh, right? This is you supporting people on your fractal. Is the energy fresh here? Is it fresh? Is it new? Does it light me up? Right? Does it feel original, authentic? I'm going to invest in that. This is you aligned with the sleeping phoenix energy. And this brings you prosperity, right? This is what's bringing you prosperity. So the key difference here is the 32 in shadow, right, is recycling. It's staying safe. Are you recycling something and you think that it's new and fresh and original? That's not going to work. That's feeding the false god. It's feeding the money, right? The money god, not the true divine God. Leaning into beginnings, the 53 in gifts, the courage to start something truly new, even if it's imperfect, because the soul tells you it's time. It's time for this now, for you to bring this out into the world. It wasn't time before, when we were in the middle of the cross of planning. But now is the time. People are hungry for authenticity. They're hungry for it. And they recognize it, and they'll recognize you, right? So practically, you're going to feel, do I cling to the safety of the past, right? Recycled. I'm recycling something, but it's safe. That's the first line energy. Or do I risk failure? I risk failure and start something that actually breathes new life, right? So this square makes staying stuck unbearable. You're not going to be able to stay in this energy. right? It's going to be unbearable to the body. So this will eventually, Mars will be pushed into action. It's like, no, I can't do this anymore. I can't stay in this situation anymore. I have to start, right? I have to start. As soon as you do that, when the time is on you, when the pressure's on you, the time of pressure, that's a sutra for the Aquarian age, act, and that pressure will be removed. As soon as you make that baby step towards Jupiter and the new seed, then immediately you feel this relief. So it's a pressure that's being created here with Mars square Jupiter. So let's bring it, Divine Feminine, into your body, because that's where all your wisdom is in your body, not your mind strategizing, but in your body. You need to trust your body 100% right now. So fear of failure, how this shadow can turn up in the body, is a tight chest, right? So feel your chest now. Shallow breathing, fear of loss and clinging. That's what that means. Solar plexus tension. I need money or I'll die. Your solar plexus is communicating that. Heaviness in the gut. This is weighed down by holding on to what no longer works. Frozen energy. This is recycling the old. You can have a frozen shoulder, or you just feel numb in certain parts of your body. That's recycling the old that feels safe, like your body is in survival mode. You feel contracted or alive, right? So there's no more just keeping the lights dimly on, not keeping your light under a bushel, right? So the beginning anew, the gate 53 gift in the body, your breath opens. Oxygen floods your system. Your chest expands. This is you opening up, right? Opening up to the new. Your pelvis and your legs ignite. You want to move. You want to dance. You want to take action, right? Your face and eyes light up. There's a spark of excitement, curiosity. Your voice has emotions moving, right? You're alive. You're not just this robot, right? Like just controlled robot. Your voice stays the same. There's no expression. There's no you, right? That's this fear of failure. You want to be alive, right? So when your face and eyes light up, there's a spark of excitement. There's a curiosity about life. It's coming from your body. It's not coming from a dopamine hit from your mind, right? That's true embodiment. Your whole body is buzzing. This is the aliveness, this possibility. The risk feels thrilling instead of terrifying. The new, right? The new. You feel expansive and your body is saying, this is life. I'm here to be alive, right? This is growth. This is my soul. This is my soul here, right? So you want to ask yourself, you want to ask your body right now, because we're all at a choice point, right? Are you going to cling to the old, or are you going to step into the new? And don't look at numbers. Don't look at business plans. Don't look at what ifs. Ask your body. That's the easiest way. Ask your body, do I feel alive? Whatever it is, does this project or whatever make me feel alive? If your body contracts and collapses or freezes, no, you're in the old paradigm. If it expands and lights up and tingles, that's your soul. Right on. Keep doing this. That's your soul communicating to you, right? You're on the right path. And to trust. Okay. So with this false god again, because this is, this is really the fear of failure, right? So fear of failure, fear of survival, I won't survive. That fear has to go somewhere. So as a collective of humanity, we've agreed that it would, that money would hold that frequency for us, right? So the collapse of the false god is happening right now. We live in an inverted world, right? We worship this. We worship this instead of our own divinity. And even the money comes from divinity. It comes from source. Ultimately comes from source, right? It's like the golden goose. The story of the golden goose. This is like worshiping the eggs instead of the golden goose. So golden goose would be like your divinity that creates the eggs, creates the money. That's what you need to get to, and it's inside you, right? It's inside you. So what it means here, the fear of failure was worshiping the money, worshiping bargains that I have with other people, worshiping what lasts, what you think is going to last. So the new altar is the 57, and this is awareness of the now. It's worship of life itself. It's your intuition. It's the breath that says yes or no. And continuity is no longer built on these false external guarantees. You work here and you got a job, right? We'll pay you every 2 weeks. You'll have a vacation. We'll help you with your retirement plan and blah, blah, blah. That's going away. That's going away. That's the cross of planning. But you're going to now have inner clarity of your spirit. That's what you want to align with now. So this means that the systems of continuity that are connected to the 32nd gate, like jobs, banks, healthcare, institutions, education, they're crumbling because their key, that magic key, that's this, money, it's no longer going to work. It's not going to no longer activate. So the new continuity comes from individuals following their intuitive clarity and aligning into networks of aliveness, where everything's are alive, rather than bargains of obligation. If you feel this duty and responsibility and obligation, you're in the wrong place, right? It's got to be alive and fresh and new, completely new. So it's the end of I support you, you support me, and the beginning of I trust the now. And if it's alive, I'm in. If it's not alive, I'm out. Right? Okay. So let's go to this. Okay. So this is the life supports life. So this goes back to it's the end of tribal consciousness, right? That's ending in 2027. It's the beginning of the empowered individual. That's the sleeping phoenix energy. Does this mean that you're just a lone wolf and you have nothing to do with groups of people? No. You can, but first and foremost, you're aligned with your own soul, right? This means you're alive. When you're in the ego, you're in not self, and you're basically dead. You're the walking dead if you're ruled by your ego and your mind. But if you are in your body, fully in your body, aligned with your soul, faith and trust, life will support life. It's not going to support this anymore, right? It's not going to support this anymore because this isn't life. It's not real. It's artificial. It's dying. People are dying their life or they're living their life. You want to shift into this frequency. So when you're you, this is you in your authenticity, you can't fake it. You can't fake being alive. And that means you need to be fully in your body. You can't be a head on a stick. You can't just be your mind. That's you and your ego, and you're dead. You're dying your life when you're ruled by your mind. You need to be fully in your body. This means you're authentic, you're alive, and you're overflowing with energy. And life rushes in to support this. So your radiance feeds the whole of humanity, the collective, right? And the whole responds. So you see there can't be a bargain here because you don't know you're giving out of overflow, but you don't know where it's going to come from. It could come from anywhere from the collective. There's no tit for tat. I do this for you, you do this for me. That's ending. So when you create from ego, right? When you create from ego, you're cut off from source, right? So I experience this all the time with music, especially. If the music is created from ego in the mind, there's no life there. There's no life. You can feel it. Like there's no life. It feels like somebody's mentally masturbating in front of you, right? It's not going to be fed anymore because when you create from ego, you're cut off from source. You're just creating from the mind and the ego. It's clever, but it's got no spirit. It's got no soul. Life will not support this, no longer support this. So you may be moving, working, even producing, but you're not alive, right? You're like the Walking Dead here. And this is the new era is the dead will no longer be supported. So the new era of the Phoenix is aliveness, is authenticity. Aliveness, right? Your authenticity is your service. Your service is your natural overflow. It's not a bargain, not a contract. It's not about survival. Right? So the cross of planning was all about, well, the bargain. If you give this, you pay me, we both survive. And the cross of the sleeping phoenix, there's no bargain. Creation flows from spirit, from overflow. And you don't need to create in order to survive. That contracts your energy. You create because you must. You have no other choice than to create because you're so overflowing with energy from your authenticity because you're connected to the infinite source, right? Which is connected to your authenticity, right? So you feel abundant here. It feels effortless. You feel radiant. And you serve naturally because spirit only flows for the good of the whole. If you're like, I want to create and I want to be an artist and I want to do my little thing, right? And you're in this, right? This is all self-serving. It just serves the ego. Look how clever I am with my art. Look how clever I can do this and that. It's not serving the whole. It's serving your personal ego, right? And maybe some other egos will get off on it too, right? But this is a completely different frequency. When you're connected to your soul and it's like, I have to create. And this means too that you have to have your heart open, right? Your heart chakra has to be open here. And then immediately you're going to serve the whole. You'll serve the whole as yourself, your authentic self. So ego creation can feel tight, forced, and calculating. It's only serving a self-image. It's not serving the whole. It's disconnected from source. It's anxious about the outcome. Will they like it? Won't they? And ultimately, this will no longer be supported by life. I'll be so happy to see this go, right? So that we can have this surge of real art and real creativity come through, right? For this new era. So when you create, ask yourself this. Does this contract my energy? Right? That's ego survival. Or does this expand and overflow my energy? And that's spirit service. And as soon as you know, if you're on the spiritual journey, as soon as you'll get to a point where you just want to serve. Do you know what I mean? You just want to help others, like from a real authentic place. Because the soul wants to serve the soul. The soul in you wants to serve the soul in others. That's when you know that you're aligned in that ego. Ego has no business, doesn't have any interest in helping other people. Unless it's like a bargain. Give me the applause. Oh, okay, if there's a photo op, okay, maybe I'll help. Somebody sees me doing something nice. That's all the ego, right? That's different. That's different. So what radiates from spirit is going to be supported in the cross of the sleeping phoenix, right? So when people ask, how can you make money from that, the true phoenix answer is, I don't create to make money. I create because spirit overflows through me, and that overflow naturally serves others. When it serves, my fractal, my soul allies recognize me, and I'm supported. I have trust and faith in that, right? And again, divine feminine, you need to be embodied, right? If you're an ego and mind, you don't know frequency. The mind doesn't know frequency. The ego doesn't know frequency, but your body does. You can feel what's alive and what's not alive. So don't be afraid to get in there. Yes, you may have to deal with some feelings that you've been running away from, but this is your power, right? Your power is to be embodied right now, and then you know frequency. You know your frequency. You know what's alive. You know what's alive in others, right? Okay. So let's go to this. Okay. So we have to remember that time, I want to talk about time. The 42 is the programming partner. Let me just grab that chart again. So there's the 32, and every gate has a partner, a programming partner. So the 32 and the 42 are programming partners. And the 42 is about time in the sense that everything has a birth date and everything has an expiry date that's on the planet. So this is about forms, right? So this would be like your body. Your physical body has a birth date when your body was born, and then it has a death date, and that's the expiry date. So this reminds us, the 42 reminds us that everything is coded with a beginning and an end. And you have no power over that. The ego has no power over that. So this is why we can all feel, with Mars and the 32 here, we can all feel that time speeding up, right? And is time speeding up? No. What's happening is consciousness is expanding right now, right? And we experience this as time speeding up. But what it is it's an urgency. It's an urgency, right? So what's the urgency right now? Well, we have 2027 coming up. And I'll just give you a hypothetical. So imagine you go to sleep tonight, right? And you astral travel, right? And you astral travel and you meet your true mother, your true divine mother, and you meet your true divine father. We all have a spiritual mother and a spiritual father, not our fake. Our fake mother is our earthly mother and our earthly father. They're not really our parents. But we have a spiritual mother and a spiritual father that are very wise and they love us unconditionally. Okay, so let's say you meet up with them and, and they tell you, well, listen, in about 15 years, there's going to be a planet, right? Maybe 5 times bigger than Jupiter, that's going to come and collide with planet Earth. And there's going to be much death. There's going to be cataclysms. There's going to be just a lot of chaos on the earth plane. There's going to be a lot of death, right? And it's basically beyond your control. Okay, so you leave with that message and you trust your divine father and your divine mother. And then you wake up and you know in your bones what they told you is true. Well, how would you live those next 15 years? How would you live those next 15 years? I don't think you would choose to waste time in a soul-draining job. I don't think you'd stay in that karmic relationship where you're unseen, you're neglected, you can't be yourself. I don't think you'd stay in that karmic relationship. I don't think you'd stick around and gossip with your superficial friends or indulge in addictions, right? I don't think you would numb yourself up, right? In habits, right? I don't think you would numb yourself out. You'd align with your soul. It's like, I've got 15 years left. That's the urgency, right? I'm going to align with my soul, right? It's time for me to get serious. So this is the collective fear, is this fear of failure is ancestral. And the ego says, what if we don't survive as a species? And subconsciously, we all feel this possibility of extinction, right? And human design says, yes, we're in the last round of what we know as Homo sapiens. And we all know this. We don't need to be told it. Deep down, we know it, right? So the ego that worships the false god, the materialists, are like, oh, I just need more money and I'll survive. Well, you can't throw money at a planet 5 times bigger than Jupiter. You can't listen to your narcissistic partner that says he's gonna collapse that planet with his mind, right? It's not gonna work. And the great thing about being faced with death is that it brings an ego death. Brings an ego death so that the real you can come forward, right? The knowingness that you're not here forever, right? So make the decision now. Just imagine, I only have 15 years left. What am I going to do with those 15 years, right? Well, in terms of our purpose, right, coming to this planet as a spiritual being, having human experiences, evolving and growing as a soul. You hear a lot about the realization of the self. Well, this is the inner master. And this is what we're cultivating a relationship with now, is our inner master. So I like this. This is the Osho deck, but it's a Buddha, right? This is the awareness that burns through the not self. The not self is what's holding your consciousness hostage, in a sense. The ego, where your consciousness is trapped, right? And that there's an inner master within you, right? That wants to be born. So this is the work to do. If you only have 15 years left, then it's time to start dissolving these ego, not self personalities. And there's not just one. There's many, many egos. We all have many, many egos within us. They need to be dissolved. We need to do our shadow work. We need to do our inner child work, right? So I want to give an example, because this, I feel in my fractal, this 32 is holding a lot of people back, right? And this is about money, the worship of the false god. Well, I won't survive. Right? And I understand this, like deeply I understand this 30-second gate, right? So I want to give you why it's important, why we just need to connect with this inner master within, right? So there's this woman, you may have heard of her, she's called the Peace Pilgrim. She's since gone. I wish I could remember her name. Anyway, you could Google it. So she basically, a Christian, she basically and she walked all around the country, the US, for decades. She gave everything she owned away, and she had no money, no possessions, no plan. She depended only on faith and spirit. So churches and strangers, right, would appear, food would appear, shelter would appear for her, right? So, and she would go and speak at the churches and things like that about her faith. She had nothing. Anyway, she ended up once in a snowstorm. She went further north in a snowstorm, and she was getting frostbite right in her fingers and her toes, and she was feeling like, this is it, I can't even see anything. It's like so snowy, and it's getting colder and colder, and she's near death, right? She's thinking that this is it, I'm gonna die here. And at that moment, the veil split. The veil of the matrix, the illusion, the Maya, split, and in walked two angels. She said two angels walked in, and they didn't say anything to her, but they just pointed to go there, go over there. So she walked where they were pointing, and there was a bridge, and there was cardboard there. So she was able to keep herself warm and sheltered the night, and then she woke up the next day and there was actually food there too, right? But she followed, she obeyed, right, the angels, and she was warmed. So the teaching here is to live by spirit, right? To live by your inner master. Let's go back here. So living by your inner master, when you connect to your inner master, because money's not going to save you during these times ahead. Your karmic relationships are certainly not going to save you. They're not coded for that. They're not coded for your evolution. Your karmic relationships are not coded for you to do this work, to align with your inner master. And each one of us has an inner master. But the ego projects it on the karmic relationship, projects it on money, projects it on so-called experts and authority figures, right? And Divine Feminine, you're bringing the energy back to your own inner master here. So you cultivate a relationship with an inner master, your own inner master. That's who you obey. That's who you listen to, right? So this is like, maybe there's a meteorite coming towards Earth. Do you need to worry? No, because you're connected to your inner master. Your inner master will say, well, go over there. Go here for food. Go here for water. This is what you trust, is your own inner master. This is the work to do right now, is to align deeply with this. And nobody on the external, nothing has power over you, right? And this is what the eclipse is teaching us now. Because, right, we're headed towards the 46. Remember, if we go back to the here, right? The 46, the love of being in the body, being in the body, being in your body, right? And that's where your inner master is, right? So work on being in the body, work on cultivating that relationship with your own inner master. Start listening to yourself. Start acting from your intuition. Not be so quick to make somebody the expert of you. Don't be so quick to take someone's advice. Go within, and that means taking time to yourself. And again, if you're sleeping with a karmic, that's the most conditioned you can be, when you're side by side in bed with your karmic. You're completely in that karmic field, and you have no access to this, right? No access to this. So just try, right? Maybe 3 days this week, I'm going to sleep alone. And this connects you more and more to your inner master, and it builds up your strength. And then you're out of confusion, you're out of doubt, right? Because you can't hear this right now. If you're in a karmic field, you can't hear your own inner teacher, right? So that's what I would say. Spend time in solitude. Don't be distracted by friends and other things, right? These are things that you can do. I have a meditation to strengthen your intuition, but definitely spend time alone. Every day, spend some time alone. This is the most important relationship in this lifetime, is this. And this is what's going to keep you safe. No matter what's happening, what cataclysm's going on in the world, you'll be safe, right? You don't have to worry about money. all that anxiety about survival. No, I have my inner master. That's who I listen to. Right? Okay. Is there anything else I wanted to say? Okay. So, the Sacred Sexual Alchemy Retreat starts in a few days, September 12th to the 14th. I already feel the energy here. You may be feeling it too if you're on my Fractal, especially this weekend. You're probably, even if you don't attend, you're going to feel the energy, because we pray every day for that. Every session we're sending out prayers to our Fractal. So this is the work right here, right? To alchemize. We've been lied to. We've been lied to about so much, right? This not self world that we live in. We've been lied to about what this sexual energy is really about, right? And there's an attack on it, right? So we'll be talking about that, like the history of our sexual energy and the attack on our sexual energy, and why this attack on our sexual energy, especially the divine feminines, right? So this helps you to alchemize, because it's all about the not self. This is the most potent energy, and this is your creative energy, right? This is the artist, right? Is your sexual energy here, and it's trapped, right? This consciousness, this potent energy is trapped within certain parts, psychological parts within you. So we'll be looking at your wound, right? Your sexual wound, your deepest sexual wound that you've inherited ancestrally. And this dissolves, it starts to dissolve these egos, right? So, and there's many of them. There's many of them that are associated with this. And this, the retreat, if you've been to the retreat, it's a tight, pressurized container, and it's designed perfectly for the eclipse energy that we're in right now. So it allows you to confront your shadow and your ego, and you're in a field that supports you to recover the consciousness that's trapped in your sexual creative wound. And through alchemy, the shadow becomes fuel, and then the wound becomes wisdom. And the false continuity gives way for your true soul to start to overflow. So I'm very excited about it. And then you meet other women on your Fractal as well. So if you're getting a zing from this, definitely take the risk, the Jupiter risk, and plant the seed and invest in yourself, right? Invest in yourself. Okay. So keep that in mind. I've got lots of stuff on my website. There's still time to join in. Okay. So let's go to the... Okay, so this is the reading for the fractal line for the Mars in the 32nd gate, and just being in this, this window of time here. So you've got the Seven of Pentacles, my fractal, Seven of Pentacles reversed. So normally this would be like assessment and waiting, long-term vision, waiting for the harvest, right? The fruits. But because it's reversed, it's impatience, wasted energy, interested in things that are not yielding, they're not bearing fruit. So the theme is to stop pouring your energy into false community. That's the 32, the shadow. The old bargain won't pay out. So go to your body, right? Does this project, does this false fractal, right? Do I feel alive? Do I feel zing? Do I feel expanded? Is it new? Is it like stretching me? Or is it recycling some old paradigm, right? And I feel contracted. I feel like duty bound, obligated to do this, right? So this is not going to pay out. Whatever you're in that you're feeding, it's not going to pay out. So this could be like karmic jobs, efforts that feel safe. It feels safe, but it's lifeless. You don't want to be investing in this. That's what this card is saying. Ace of Pentacles reversed means blocked beginnings. Whatever you began, there's a blocked beginning. There's false starts. There's missed chances. Right? So if nothing's happening, that means it's not alive. Life is not going to support this project. Right? So new cycles are here. It's the Ace of Pentacles. But they can't take root in soil that's poisoned by the fear of failure. Right? It's coming from, oh, I'm going to get money from this. Right? There's going to be continuity. That's the old paradigm at the cross of planning. It's not going to work. Okay, so because this is tied to Jupiter, I put Jupiter in the mix too, it means that new beginnings are available, but you have to clear out the old attachments. Whatever these old attachments are, like this false fractal, this false project, you need to clear those out. And then the new is available for you. And then the Knight of Pentacles, this is steady, practical, loyal, committed. So the only way forward for you is disciplined, embodied action, slow, steady, and in alignment. So not chasing hype, right? Not rushing. So this is the right place, right time of the Gate 46 that's coming in September 21st. That's the new moon, the solar eclipse. Very powerful, right? So that's what this relates to. So don't be freaking out like, oh, I missed my chance. It's like, no, your chance is coming, but you need to let go. This is about letting go, shedding old attachments, old karmic attachments, so that the new can come in. Okay. And then, okay. Yeah, and the 46 will shine through and get in the body, right? This Pentacles. Page of Wands reversed means immaturity. It means unfocused energy and false excitement. So be aware of immaturity, right? That's the 53, right? The shadow of the 53 is immaturity. Recycled ideas. They're not new. They're just what somebody else is doing. I'm going to do what they're doing. It's recycled ideas. It's not going to be supported. Excitement without any substance. Just excited for excitement. Not looking, right? The Page of Wands is not upward. It's not looking to the future. It's immature. It's the page. So this is excitement without substance. Projects that mimic aliveness. They copy aliveness, but they're not. They're not real. Again, you'll know by being in your body. So this is the Jupiter 53 shadow, which is immaturity in the beginnings. Immaturity, not grounded. This is all in the head. This is all fantasy. Page of Wands reversed. The anchor is the Queen of Cups. So this is deep intuition, emotional presence, sacred receptivity. So this is the medicine for you, listening, right? This is to return to your own inner master, return to your own intuition. Don't get sucked out to this false fractal and all this crazy excitement that's not rooted, right? You will know when you get in your Queen of Cups energy, oh, there's no energy here. It's not alive. There's no future with this, right? You'll just know. You'll just know by how your body feels, right? So this is the Gate 57, right? Jupiter waiting to open. Clarity in the now through emotional receptivity and embodiment. So this is saying that old efforts are collapsing for you. False continuity, safe projects, I put in air quotes, tribal bargains are falling apart. It's not working, right? The bargain's not working. New seeds can't sprout in fear. And you can't plant in dead soil. It's not the right environment for you. The path is steady alignment, Knight of Pentacles. This is you doing your inner work, right? So that you can be aligned with that inner master within and your Queen of Cups. And then not every exciting opportunity is authentic. Just because somebody's excited about something doesn't mean it's authentic. So don't accuse hype, right? People getting all hyped up about stuff, right? Don't confuse that for spirit. And then your anchor is the fractal, you. You're asking for deep intuitive alignment, the love of your body, the receptivity to your soul, and clarity in the now. This is what you can trust. Okay. You know, and you can wait on it. You've got until September 21st. This eclipse season, this like fated events will happen. Don't look away. Don't look away. What life is showing you, what people are showing you. The masks are coming off of people. Don't look away. And be sober. Sober looking. And that means getting your Queen of Cups energy, right? Align with your inner being. Right, your inner being will communicate to you. Now there's nothing here, right? It's not aligned with my soul, but there's something else coming. Ace of Pentacles there that's more aligned with me. Okay, twin flames here. So twin flames, I want to simplify the twin flame thing. So basically, your twin flame is your mirror, and it's not like a pretty mirror. The questions I'm asking is not about the pretty mirror. The mirror of your unconscious, right? So your twin represents the mirror of your unconscious. What you can't see in yourself, you see in your twin, right? The mirror is very magnified, and that's why the split happens, because people get afraid of what they see. They don't want to see that about themselves, right? The shadow. But this is a gift. It truly is a gift. To see the shadow in your twin is really you. So whatever you're complaining about your twin, it's really about you, something that you haven't integrated in yourself, right? So I'm talking about the shadow, right? Because this is not about being in fantasy anymore. That's the danger on the twin flame journey. It's getting locked into your projection of your twin. My twin is perfect in every way. They're so good at this. They're so good at that. It's a projection. They're human, just like you, right? We all have our blind spots. So the twin are able to show that to one another very intensely. Okay? So the question here was the shadow, the divine masculine, is holding up for the divine feminine. So what shadow is the divine masculine holding up for the divine feminine? And this is the Ace of Cups. So he's showing her that her heart is blocked. She's not in her heart. She's not in her feelings. She's numb, right? She's stuffed down her emotions to control, right? To keep in control. She's abandoned herself. The divine feminine, wherever she is, if she's single, she's in a karmic relationship. Wherever she is, she's self-abandoned, right? And we learn this in childhood. We learn this in childhood, to abandon ourselves. So if you have a parent, like an abusive parent, or a parent that had an addiction, maybe they were an alcoholic, or they had some kind of a addiction, it could be your mother or your father. Well, the child, my sense is this is what the child learned, is to abandon herself. Divine feminine, you learn to abandon yourself so that you could be close to your parent. That was the only way that you could be close to your parent, is to abandon your authentic self. So it doesn't end there. This pattern repeats in all your relationships. In your relationship now, you learn to abandon yourself in this relationship because that's what you know, Divine Feminine. This is what you know. And that karmic relationship can be quite abusive. Like, will treat you like the parent treated you as a child. Maybe he neglects you, right? Maybe he doesn't really see you. Maybe he doesn't encourage you to be yourself. Remember that the karmics, they're not coded. They don't have the codes for your soul's evolution. They're coded to show you the wound. That's all they're coded for. They're to show you the wound. And in fact, if you do surpass them, they will do everything in their power to keep you back, to hold you back from evolving and growing, right? So what this is saying is you've abandoned your heart in order to be in this relationship. And you don't need to do that anymore, Divine Feminine, right? So this is a matter of valuing yourself. I have value, and I'm no longer going to abandon myself, right? I got the lesson. I'm going to be 100% authentic. That's your safety and security, not this karmic relationship. And you tell your inner child, you have to speak to your inner child. And you say, it's safe for us to be ourselves now, right? I can take care of you. This karmic is not taking care of you. I'm going to take care of you. And then you break that pattern, right? That's what this is saying here, right? So you're allowing the karmic, in terms of the cup, you're giving all your emotions over to that karmic relationship with the people pleasing, making yourself small, giving all your energy over to that karmic relationship, right? And then you've like completely drained your own cup. There's nothing for you, right? So this is, you've shut down emotionally, because to feel means you have to feel the pain of abandoning yourself. There's grief, right? There's grief that you have to feel when you abandon yourself, right? So you must integrate reconnection. You need to raise the cup upward, and that means you start to give to yourself. That means you start setting boundaries, right? You're not always there. You're not his emotional mummy, right? You're not the emotional mummy taking care of his emotions, managing his emotions. You're like, no, I'm giving myself the cup now. I'm nurturing myself. I'm taking time to myself. I'm being alone. I'm doing things that make me feel loved because I'm not getting it from this karmic, right? He's just throwing crumbs at you. Whatever your parents did, that's what he's doing to you, right? So in terms of the twin flame connection, the divine masculine can't pour love into you. Because look where the cup is. The cup's not open to receive. Right? So the divine masculine can come in and like, your cup's downward. I'm trying to give to you, but you're not receiving. So you need to learn to receive love. This is the childhood wounding, right? You couldn't receive. You didn't receive love, the love that you needed as a child. So you have to start giving that to yourself, and things will start to shift and change, right? Especially true for the phoenix, the sleeping phoenix. Okay? So this is what the shadow that the divine masculine is showing you. So you have to start pouring that love into yourself, right? And then you're able to receive love from others, like true love. And then what's the shadow of the divine feminine holding up for the divine masculine? And you got the Fool card, upright. So the shadow here that you're showing him, your divine masculine, is an immaturity. And this is leaping without grounding. This is like a restlessness, right? The divine masculine is restless. Well, I want change. I'm going to make change. I'm going to force change, right? I'm not aligned with my soul, right? I just want change for change's sake. At least something's happening, right? The divine masculine when he's out of alignment. So the divine feminine is also showing the divine masculine his fear of taking a leap in faith, right? So taking a leap in faith into the unknown. She's showing him that. Again, it's about alignment. The divine masculine has to align with his soul. So the shadow that he has to integrate is trusting spirit, trusting the divine enough to step into a new cycle in his life, right? Step into a new cycle without clinging to safety, without any kind of safety. No backup plans, right? No backup plans, no plan B, no plan C, no secret exit door, right? This is about commitment, right? So committing to spirit, committing to his soul, and then making that leap here. And that's when it turns into maturity. It's all about alignment. When you're immature and you're with the ego is restless. The ego gets bored, right? But when you're aligned with your soul, that's maturity. So then the twin flame mirror language is you must risk the unknown to live your soul's truth, right? And that's one of the big lessons for the twin flame path. If you're on a twin flame journey, you're learning to surrender. The ego has no control over this, right? This journey, the twin flame journey, the ego has no control, right? It makes you face and confront your ego, right? Point blank, it's right there in your face because you need to surrender. This is all ruled by spirit. It's all ruled by the divine. The divine's in charge of this, and the divine is not going to let the ego take over and drive, right? It's about surrendering and going with the flow and trusting and having faith, right? And the twin flame is holding up that mirror for you. It's holding up that mirror for you so that you can see where your blind spots are. You can see where that little sneaky little ego is still there, right? Oh my God, that ego is still there trying to control. Even that has to go, right? This is a huge awakening for this path. And then the potential divine archetype through shadow work. So the divine feminine is going to be opening up her heart. The divine masculine is taking a risk and trusting, right? The potential divine archetype through shadow work is the 5 of Wands reversed. So this is conflict resolution. It's ending the ego battles, right? And even if you're not in contact, you can have an ego battle up in the astral plane, right? Because you're connected, you're tethered to one another, the twin flames. There could be an ego battle. How do you know you're in an ego battle? Because you have like memories. I should have said that to my twin flame, or I can't believe they're doing this, right? Things like that. Projection. This is going to go away. Because really with the twin flames, it's about merger. It's a merger, and the ego doesn't want to merge, right? The ego will fight tooth and nail. And you may think, my twin flame is a narcissist and they have such a huge ego. Look in the mirror. So do you. Somewhere, so do you, right? Okay, so conflict, ending ego battles. Right, so that will be good. When both integrate those shadows, the relationship shifts from power struggles. You're not going to have power struggles and competition to collaborate and collaboration and creative union. So remember the twin flames, they have a greater soul purpose together. It's not about running off into the sunset and living a happily ever after, right? It's about you have a soul purpose together, right? You're a soul contract that's brought you together, right? And that's the big jump into this new cycle. But this is the ego. This is like the sixth gate, right? That conflict is flipped. So that's really good if you work on yourself. So the archetype here is sacred partnership as alchemical peacemakers. So they become a vessel for harmony in the collective. And Richard Rudd talked about this in the 55th gate. When we start to see these, I forget what he called them, like sacred couples, but twin flames, they're twin flames. When we start to see these twin flames in union, start to pop up in the collective, start to come into union, that's when we know that there's a huge shift in the collective happening, right? Because they bring peace to the collective of humanity, because they've had to work on peace themselves, which was intense work, right? That ego is very intense when it comes. The ego doesn't want anything to do with that twin flame, right? At the beginning, yes, but not when the shadow starts coming up. The ego wants nothing to do with that twin flame. Get away from me, right? The ego doesn't want you to see, you, the higher being, to really see, to see yourself in truth. Yeah. So this is like you can transform, the archetype is you can transform conflict into creation. And then the bonus cards that popped out are Justice, the King of Pentacles, and the Star card. So this is karmic truth. It's divine order. It's your contract is balanced, is rebalanced. It's in balance now, your sacred contract together. So you step out of the karmic bargains into soul truth. Out of the karmic bargains into soul truth here. And the King of Pentacles is stability. It's grounded abundance. It's the true masculine provider archetype. This isn't the false. The false masculine is the bargain. I hold the purse strings. That means I have complete control over you, right? I get to tell you what to do, right? I get to control the energetic field around us because I hold the purse strings. I'm the breadwinner, right? That's the false, right? This is upright. The true masculine is I provide the container, right? The divine masculine is I'm the protector and the provider, right? That energy moves through me, right? I create the container. I hold. I'm the mountain. Divine feminine, you're the ocean. I'm the mountain. I don't leave. I'm always present, right? So this is the king. So this is stability that's not rooted in ego. The false masculine is rooted in ego. It's all conditional. You don't do what I want, then I'm not going to give you money. You don't do what I want, I'll leave the room, right? I'll be silent. I won't communicate to you. That's the false masculine, that the manipulator, right? That's rooted in ego. And then the Star card is healing, it's hope. This is the card after the Tower card, right? This is cosmic guidance. It's the North Star. This divine purpose. So the union itself becomes a beacon of healing and higher destiny and radiating light to your fractal, right? Radiating light to your fractal line here. Okay, So it's a matter of doing your shadow work, divine feminine and divine masculine, right? So the divine masculine to the divine feminine, I show you where you shut down your heart. Love must overflow within you first. You can't come to the divine masculine and lack. You've got to pour that love into yourself first. You have to love yourself first, right? And then the divine feminine is saying to the divine masculine, I show you where you fear to leap. I show you where you fear to change, right? To embrace a new cycle. I'll show you to trust spirit and step into the unknown, right? So together, we resolve the inner conflict, we end the ego struggle, and we emerge as the divine archetypes of justice, the King of Pentacles, which is stability. So justice, stability, and cosmic healing, right? So this is clarity in the now. The star card is clarity in the now, guided by spirit. This is the gate 57. The 5 of Wands reverse is the gate 46. This is embodied reconciliation. This is being in the right place at the right time, right? And then the Fool this is immaturity in the beginnings. That's the gate 53. The Ace of Cups reverse is gate 63. This is doubt and fear in matters of love and intimacy. Very cool. Okay. So if you're still here, check it out. Check it out. It's going to be, I don't know what it's going to be. I'm just in the present now moment. And this energy is alive. It's alive. The current is alive within me. I'm quite excited about it. So if you sign up, the retreat officially opens on Thursday. There's videos and things for you to watch there. There's a questionnaire and things for you to do already. And then the opening circles on Friday. We go all weekend, intense workshops all weekend, teachings, meditations, sharing. And remember with the projectors, you volunteer. You don't need to, it's a volunteer basis this time, which means that you guide a group, a breakout group, which may or may not happen in this way. It's like, for me, it's like every retreat is new, and I have to obey that, whatever wants to come through. So that's what I'm listening to, my own inner being and serving that consciousness, right? So all weekend, and then the next Wednesday we all come together again for a support meditation, and then the next Sunday that's the integration meditation. So it's like the weekend and then all week, and then you have the forum, so you're able to communicate with one another, and it's all private on my website. Okay, so I hope to see the ones that are destined to do this retreat so that we can really start to move forward and bring in this new consciousness, right? Okay, so you can follow me on Instagram, Telegram, and YouTube community. There's a lot of energy on the YouTube community posts. Okay, I will see you in the next video. Okay, take care, everybody. Satnam Aloha.